Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another book video. Today I'm doing something a little different and I see this all the time on booktube and I think it is so fun. So I'm going to be tier ranking popular book tropes. Now if you don't know what tier ranking is, basically you have different tiers, usually about 5, and then you take a trope or whatever you're ranking and you rank it into one of the 5 categories. So I am going to be doing that today with different book tropes. And I need to figure out how to screen record on my laptop, so give me 1 second. Okay, so let's go over my tiers. Okay, so first up we have inject this into my veins. There is nothing I love more than this trope. I most likely have never read a book with this trope that I disliked. I just love it. There's something about it that I am drawn to. My favorite trope like ever. The next tier is I will be reading it. This means like I will be reading. Like if this book has this trope, I'm drawn to it, I will be reading it. It's not like up there with like, oh my god. Like I'm not as into it as inject this into my veins, but I still will be reading it. Next one, don't mind it, but it's personally not my favorite. So like I'll read it, but I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, this trope like makes me fall in love with this book. And then the next one, literally be so for real, jail. Absolutely not. I hate this. It makes me dislike the book. If the book has this, I personally probably will not like it at all. And then the last one is have not dabbled. So I just like haven't read a book with that trope. So yes, I have my Diet Coke. I have on my comfy sweatshirt. Let's get into it. So first trope we have teacher-student. Literally be so for real, jail. Okay. Figuratively and literally. Like, that's illegal. Like, you cannot have a relationship with your teacher. And you cannot have a relationship with a student. Like, I think of Pretty Little Liars and Arya and Ezra and how literally, like, everyone was team... What was their ship name? Was it Sparia? No, that was Spencer and Arya's friendship name. Oh my god, it's gonna bother me. Arya and Ezra's ship name. Ezriat, that was it. Oh my gosh. And everyone was like, her parents are like so weird for not letting them be together. Babe, that's her teacher. She's in high school. It's not for me. Be Sunshine. I will be reading. I will be reading that. My favorite is whenever like the girl is the sunshine and the guy's grumpy. I'm not like the biggest fan of the opposite. But whenever I think of this, I think of Heartless by Elsie Silver. Cade and Willa they're like the blueprint for a grumpy sunshine relationship, and I love them so much. It's also to the point like where like grumpy as it like he's not like bullying her. Like I don't like that. I like a normal like a good banter. Childhood friends to lovers. Yup. Inject this into my vein. Yup. Okay. There is just something about childhood friends who, like, especially if they're neighbors. I love that. Love that trope. Elliot and Macy from Love and Other Words. That is like, oh my god. They're like neighbors. And I love a neighbors, like, you grow up together. Like, there's something so special about, like, being a childhood friend and seeing them grow up together. And, like, they go through so many different things together. And they still love each other for it. And they fall in love with each other, like, in high school or whatever. And they've just always been like each other's rock. There's something about that and I love it so much. Okay, accidental pregnancy. I'm gonna put that with don't mind, but not my favorite. Again, I feel like the Chestnut Spring series touches on so many different tropes, and I think of Reckless whenever with Winter and Theo whenever I think of this trope. For me personally, I just like am not, I don't know. I just like don't like it because it's like you just like it's kind of so predictable. Like she's gonna get pregnant and they're gonna agree to co-parent and then they're gonna end up falling in love, and it's just very predictable, and it's just something that I'm just like, it's not my favorite. Famous love. I'm gonna put this under don't mind, but not my favorite as well. Whenever I do think of this, I think of the movie Starstruck. If you've ever seen that movie on Disney, like he's famous and she's just like a normal girl and she's like, I don't care that you're famous, and then they fall in love. again, it's like it's there, you know? However, I do enjoy it because if I am reading it, I'm thinking about like me and Harry Styles. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, what if this was me in One Direction? You know? But again, it's like not like, oh my gosh, this trope's amazing. It's just like, it's there. Forced proximity. Yep, I will be reading it. There's just something about that scene when they go into that motel after the car breaks down and they're like, we need 2 rooms. And the clerk's like, we only have 1 and it's also a room with only a queen bed. So sorry about it. There's just something about that that is so good. And like, I just feel like it hits every single time. Like, it's so good. I don't even know how else to describe it other than it hits every single time. Especially if it's written well. Single parent. Don't mind, not my favorite. Again, whenever like I feel like authors write kids in books, it's just like not my favorite. I'm not a fan of kids in books because they'll literally just be like, I don't know, I just feel like they're not written realistically. Like there'll be like a 5-year-old who's like giving off like advice, or like, I don't even know, like a 5-year-old who is just like so well spoken and like, I don't know, it's just, I don't like it. I don't like it. And also it's just like, I like relating to books, and I also like the fictional aspects of books, obviously. Like I read to escape reality, but I don't want to escape a reality with a kid because I don't want one of those right now. So it's just something I'm not like, it's not the favorite. Next, Amnesia. Literally be so for real, jail. Whenever I think of this, I don't know why I think of that one episode of Full House when Michelle falls off a horse and gets amnesia. It's not funny. Why am I laughing? But it's like, okay, so if it's like you read the book and like they have a relationship and you read the relationship and you get attached to it and then one of them loses their memory, it's like everything we just read goes out the door because they don't remember anything, and it's just kind of like repetitive because they have to keep reminding them, and like, I don't like it. It's so annoying. Fake dating. I will be reading this. Wes and Liz from Better Than the Movies. If you know, you know. I don't know, I just love it because like they have to fake it, and then I love whenever like there's those little moments that you read and like you're reading the point of view of the person, and they're like questioning on if it's real or not. They're like, is this real? And it's like, yes babe, it is real. I love it. Age gap. Okay, this depends, so I'm gonna put it in don't mind, not my favorite. If it's like an 18-year-old, like freshly 18-year-old child and like a 40-year-old, no, I'm not reading it. Jail, no. But if it's like a 25-year-old and like a 45-year-old, I can eat that up. You know what I mean? I also like, I don't know. If she's too young, it's just like, why are you attracted to her? She's freshly 18, babe. You're going to jail. You are going to jail. So it definitely depends. Runaway Bride. Have I read a Runaway Bride book? I don't think I have. I have not dabbled in that. So moving on. Sports romance. I will be reading that. I will be reading it. It's like not like a book where if it's like a sports romance, I'm like, oh my god, I love this. Like I'm going to go pick it up because it's a sports romance. No, I just like the like little itsy bits parts of it. Like I want to be an NFL wife. Like hello? Yes, go out on that field and you make your millions, and I will dress cute, I will take pictures, and I will dress up our child in your little mini jersey, okay? I will eat that up. However, if it's too sports heavy, like if we start talking about like offsides and like penalties and stuff, then I'm just like boring. Like give me the romance aspect of it. One of Us is Famous. Wait, what's the difference from this and Famous Love? I feel like I already did that, so I'm just gonna throw that in the same thing because I feel the same way about it. Next, I Hate Everyone in the World But You. Inject it, please. Inject it into my veins. There is nothing better then reading a book. The male main character isn't completely rude to everyone else, but he's just very closed off and he only opens up to the female main character. Like, there's nothing better than that. Oh my god, it's like, oh my gosh, like me? Like, you're opening up to me? It's so good. Like, and I also love, like, if he, like, tells other people off for her, and he's literally like, I literally don't care what any of those people think about me. All I care is what you think about me. I will eat that up every single time. Bodyguard romance. Again, don't mind, not my favorite. Like, I like the aspect of him protecting her, but it's like, I want that in a book anyway. Like, I want, like, the male main character to be protective over the female main character. So it's like, I don't know. If she's famous and he's the bodyguard, I think that's a good trope. Like, he falls in love with the actress or singer that he's, like, a bodyguard for. I think that could be a good one, but, like, other than that, I mean, it's just, like, it's whatever. Right person, not enough time. Literally be so for real. Literally be so for real. Like, what do you mean not enough time? Like, make time. Make time. How about that? Make time. Bad boy, good girl. Yeah, I probably will be reading that. I will be reading that. Like, be for real. You're reading that too. You're reading it. Like, I just love it. I'm like, basically, I just think there's nothing better than a tattooed man, a tattooed male main character. He sees that girl in the corner reading a book and he's like, that one. Yep, that's the one I'm in love with. And then they're just like, I love whenever the bad boy also makes the good girl like break out of her shell a little bit. I think it's just so cute. Bully, literally be so for real, going to jail. I'm sorry. If someone bullied me, I would never fall in love with them. I would never give them the time of day. I would never talk to them. Even if they came up to me and apologized, I'd be like, okay. How are we falling in love with someone who literally bullies us? That's just, like, no. That's borderline, like, psycho. Okay, friends to lovers. I will be reading. I love this trope because I think of me and my boyfriend because we were friends before we started dating. And you just love, like, a good friends to lovers. Like, you know things about each other and, like, one day you're just with each other and you're like, you know, I think I'm in love with you. It is so cute. Like, and also if it's written extremely well, I think sometimes authors can write friends to lovers as, like, it being, like, super random. I love a good build-up. Like, if there's a good build-up on a friends to lovers where, like, especially if it's dual POV and, like, you see the boy and he's, like, looking at her differently for the first time and he's like, oh, I eat that up. Brother's best friend. Again, don't mind, not my favorite. I feel like it's different for me because I don't have a brother. I feel like maybe if I had a brother, I'd think differently because I'd be like, why am I gonna go for my brother's friend? In my little, like, Delulu head, like, the world I built, I'm like, I don't have a brother, and I'm imagining, I'm like, okay, but, like, what if, like, my brother had a friend who, like, would always come over and he was, like, hot? I don't know. Don't mind. Not my favorite. Good boy, bad girl. Don't mind, not my favorite. I do prefer the opposite. Because I feel like, I'm gonna be so for right now. I feel like whenever authors do write a bad girl, it's so unrealistic. Like, she's, like, always wearing Doc Martens and she just, like, has black eyeliner on. And it's just, like, we don't have to be cringy with it. Like, I just feel like they make her very, very cringy and dislikable. If it's written well, then I won't mind it. But if it's not, then it's definitely, like, not my favorite. This is gonna be surprising. I have not dabbled in any mafia romances. I don't know why. I just feel like that, like, they haven't popped out at me. I mean, I've had it, like, be a subplot, like, in Daisy Hates. Like, they're, like, crime family. I don't know if that's the same thing. It's just, like, I don't know. It just, like, hasn't been, like, something that popped out to me. Friends with benefits to lovers. I will be reading that because every delusional girl who's ever had a situationship wants this to happen. Like, if you're in a situationship, it's always like, oh, like, we're friends, but, like, you know, we have some benefits. And then how often does it actually happen that those friends with benefits situationships turn into lovers. Probably 2% of the time. But this is definitely a trope for my delusional girlies. Secret billionaire. Okay, I'm gonna put don't mind not my favorite because the secret billionaire part. Like, I just love if you're, like, just be a billionaire. Like, why does it have to be secret? Like, just tell me you have money. Like, I get, like, the whole thing, like, oh, well, like, if I tell you I have money, like, you're not gonna like me for me, you're just gonna like me for my money. Like, yup. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke. It's just, like, I don't know. I feel like if you're having, like, secrets in the beginning, then how are you ever gonna, like, have a solid relationship if from the beginning you're keeping a secret? That's my opinion. Enemies to lovers. Yup. Yup. Inject it into my veins. Especially if it's a workplace enemies to lovers. I will eat that up every single time. There's just something about, like, the banter in an enemies to lovers book. The banter in an enemies to lover book. Oh my god. It, like, it gives you butterflies because, like, you're reading it and you're like, you two do not hate each other. Like, this is not how, if you actually hated each other, you probably wouldn't be talking to each other. And also, I love when it's dual POV and the, like, you see them, like, saying things and, like, whenever, like, it is the dual POV, you'll, like, see them noticing things about each other, and it's like, if you hated them, you would not be noticing these things. I love it. Forbidden love. Don't mind, not my favorite. It also depends, like, I feel like on the era. Like, if I'm reading, like, a historical fiction or a historical romance, then, like, I get it. I do like it because it's, like, for that time period. But, like, if we're talking about, like, a book based in, like, 2022 or, like, a book based, like, now, and, like, it's just, like, overprotective parents, it's just, like, annoying because it's, like, be so for real. Right person, wrong time. Literally be so for real, jail. I think I'm gonna make this, like, also, like, miscommunication trope. There is nothing I hate more than a miscommunication trope, because just speak to each other. Like, sit down, grow up, and have a conversation. Like, you're thinking these things and you're like, oh, like, he just doesn't think that way about me. Ask him. Like, literally grow a pair and ask each other. Tell each other how you feel. It's not the wrong time. It's the fact that you literally are an idiot. Like, just speak to each other. Everything would be solved if you just spoke to each other. I hate it. It grinds my gears. Strangers to lovers. I'm gonna, like, assume that this is kind of like love at first sight type thing. So I'm gonna put literally be so for real jail. It's not that I don't believe in it. Depending on how a slow burn is done. Okay, I see things both ways. I don't like a slow burn, but I also hate if it's like that. Like, there has to be a happy medium. Like, I hate whenever, like, we open a book and then the characters meet and they're already, like, in love with each other. It just, like, be so for real. Like, it's not realistic. It just makes the book, like, not enjoyable because, like, there has to be a build-up. If there's not a build-up, it's just, like, annoying. Soulmate. I will be reading. This reminds me of Magnolia Parks and BJ from Magnolia Parks. They are, like, the definition of soulmates, and, like, they just always find their way back to each other, and I will eat that up every single time, especially if they both know they're soulmates, and, like, there's nothing better than just being comfortable with someone, and that, to me, is, like, what a soulmate is. Like, someone who, like, you can just be comfortable around. Like, you don't, like, have to, like, overthink things. Like, they're just, like, your soulmate. Like, you are comfortable with them, and I will eat that up in a book every single time. One bed. Same thing with, like, forced proximity. I eat it up. Check in a hotel. We need 2 rooms. Nope, sorry, 1 bed. Go in. They found love. I love it. Arranged marriage, literally be so for real. Again, same thing. Maybe if it's a historical fiction and they end up, like, actually falling in love. But, like, I don't know. It's just, like, annoying. Because it's, like, be so for real. Like, let me pick who I want to marry. Like, you're going to pick who I'm going to marry. Like, if my dad walked in my room right now and was like, hey, like, you're getting married in 2 weeks to, like, someone that's going to, like, you know, it's going to be good for the family. Be so for real. That's not going to happen. I think, like, I'm an idiot, and, like, some of these tropes I'm thinking are the same thing. Like, the love at first sight thing, I literally was just talking about that, so we're going to put that at literally be so for real. Okay. Slow burn. I will be reading. If it's done right. If it's not done right, no. You have to have a slow burn, and especially, again, dual POV, when you get both characters' perspectives and how they are falling in love with each other. Oh my god, if it's a slow burn and like you're getting nothing before like they kiss for the first time, then it's like be so for like you want to have like little glimpses of things like, oh, like he's noticing what she's wearing today, or like she notices the way her hair like shines in the light, I don't know, something like that. And then it's like all of a sudden there's that moment when things just click for them and they're like, oh wait, we are into each other. If it's done well, there is nothing better than a slow burn. Royalty commoner, I have not dabbled in that. Not really sure what that would be. Love triangle, literally be so for real. You're going to jail. I hate love triangles because if I pick the one that I want and that is not who she chooses, I will have an anger in me that is so not okay. I can't even describe the anger I would have. Like, if I'm being honest, the summer I turned pretty, I'm Team Conrad. If Jenny Han switches the ending to Jeremiah being and Belly being endgame, I will throw a fit. I will throw a fit. It's just like be so for real. And also like a lot of the time I feel like one of them is in a relationship already and it's like someone's having fit. Like that's basically cheating at that point. We're not gonna do that. It's not gonna happen. Friends to enemies to lovers. Okay. I will be reading because sometimes though, whenever it does go from friends to enemies, it's like, why did that happen? That reason depends on a lot of things. Like, why did that happen? You know what I mean? Like, for example, in Every Summer After, I'm gonna have a spoiler here. So if you haven't read the book, skip over like this 10 seconds. The reason why they stopped is because she literally slept with his brother. Like, that is not cool. We're not gonna do that. But if it's like something like silly, then it's like whatever. Like, I can get behind that. Like, I will be reading that. Like, friends to enemies to lovers, there's something there. There's potential. Okay, everyone, that is me ranking a bunch of reading romance book tropes. That was so fun. I'm probably gonna do another one of these like with something else sometime soon because that was actually so fun. And I like seeing the layout of like what I think. And yeah, please subscribe. That was so much fun to make. If you want to do something like this, just go on tiermaker.com and there's like a bunch of different ones you can use and you can kind of edit them. But yeah, that was so fun. We can disagree, we can agree. It doesn't matter. Everyone is just here for some fun and to talk about books. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!